Attention, duelist. Sphinx here, and just gonna be doing a pack opening today. A new pack came out yesterday, a few days ago. Doesn't matter. It came out, so I'm gonna open it. Gonna do this in the usual way. I'll read off the new stuff. Gonna ignore the old stuff, and we'll see if I like what I get. All right. Shimisen Samsara Sorrow Cat is a level 3 synchro tuner, requiring a tuner and a non-tuner. Once per chain, during your opponent's main phase, you can quick effect, activate this effect. After this effect resolves, synchro summon using this card you control. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one other synchro monster in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Only use each effect of Shamisen Samasara Cat once per turn. Sorrow Cat once per turn. It's weird. It's fine. People trying to recreate synchroing on your opponent's turn, even though they nailed it the first time with Formula Synchron. Well, Formula Synchron chaining that other stuff. Hopbeard Squadron does it too. I'm going to pronounce this fish, even though I like saying Goaty more, but for the sake of ease. Fish Fury, Continuous Trap. Target one fish monster you control and one monster your opponent controls. Banish both until your next standby phase. If a fish monster is special summoned to your field while any card is banished, you can banish this card from your graveyard or face up field and spell trap zone. All fish monsters you currently control gain 100 attack for each currently banished card until the end of the turn. I like the first effect. The second seems too small to really matter. Unless Grand Magi makes a comeback. I don't know if this is actually new, but it's new to me. Dash Warrior. If this card attacks, it gains 1200 attack during the damage step only. We have Fish Cosmos. Normal Trap. Applies the effects in sequence based on the number of banished fish monsters. 1. Your fish monsters can't be destroyed by battle this turn. 4 or more. The activation and effects of your fish monster effects activated on your field cannot be negated this turn. 8 or more. Special summon 1 fish synchro monster from your extra deck. This is treated as a synchro summon. You can only activate 1 Fish Cosmos per turn. Kind of like that one. Maybe I'll be a fish player. All these tournament players crying up a whole ocean. Might as well start swimming. Arion Post, the Serpent of Fish. Level 6 Synchro, 2100 attack, requiring a tuner and a non-tuner. If this card is Synchro summoned, you can banish one level 6 or lower fish monster from your deck. If this card is sent to the graveyard as Synchro material, target one fish monster in your graveyard, banish it, then add one fish monster with an equal or lower level from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Arena Post, Serpent of the Sea, Serpent of the Fish, once per turn. I'm not super impressed by that, but I also don't really know what fish want to do. There's Assault Synchron, level 2 Machine Tuner. During your main phase, you can special summon this card from your hand, then take 700 damage. Also, while it's facing in the monster zone, you cannot special summon from the extra deck except synchro monsters. So, free special summon for only 700 damage, absolutely good. And it's already a tuner, and once you only synchro while it's face up, that's fine. You can synchro away and then do other stuff. You still get a free special. If a face up dragon synchro monster you control is tributed or banished, except during the damage step, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one of those monsters, and special summon it. You can only use each effect of Assault Synchron once per turn. Pretty good. Naturia Blessing. Quick play spell. Activate one of these effects. Special summon a Naturia monster from your hand or graveyard. Immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon a synchro monster using monsters you control as material, including a Naturia. Or fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control as material, including a Naturia monster. It's fine. Actually, for being normal rare, it's good. But no one really plays Naturia on its own yet, so I'm not going to sweat it. Exceep, Omen of the Fish. Level 4, 1500 attack, 0 defense. If a fish monsters is banished, except in the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. During the standby phase of the next turn after this card was banished, target one of your fish traps that is banished or in your graveyard and set that target. You can use each effect of Exceep, Omen of the Fish, once per turn. I kind of like that. Nice simple way to special summon itself and gets you some recursion on your traps. Also, I like its funny name and the way I'm saying it. Beep. Final Cross. Quick play spell. During your turn, if a Synchro monster was sent to the graveyard this turn, target one Synchro monster you control. It can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. Also, if you activate this card by targeting a Synchro monster with Warrior, Synchron, or Stardust in its original name, make it gain attack equal to the attack of one Synchro monster in your graveyard. You can activate one Final Cross per turn. Not bad. That's Fish Cosmos. Circle of the Fairies. Level 7 Synchro monster requiring a tuner and a non-tuner. During your main phase, you can normal summon one insect or plant monster in addition to your normal summoner set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. When a monster is destroyed by battle involving your insect or plant monster and sent to the graveyard, you can target one of those destroyed monsters, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half its attack, then gain life points equal to the damage inflicted to your opponent. You can only use this effect of Circle of the Fairies once per turn. Neat. I don't see it really being fit into anything unless they need some specific level 7 rather than the rest of its effect. More shinies. Dimensional Allotrope Varus. Weird. Level 1 Psychic Tuner, 0 attack, 0 defense. Cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster with the same type or attribute as this card. You can declare one monster type and one attribute. This card becomes that type and attribute until the end of your opponent's next turn. It only uses effective Dimensional Allotrope Varus once per turn. On your mark, get set, duel. Continuous spell. When this card is activated, if you control no other cards, you can add one Synchron monster from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, during the standby phase, place one signal counter on this card. You can remove two signal counters from this card and send this face-up card to the graveyard to draw two cards, then send one card from your hand to the graveyard. You can only activate one on your mark, get set, duel per turn. I'm going to say this is pretty good. Open up with it, add a Synchron, and if the game goes long enough, you get to do some drawing. And just for being a Synchron searcher, it's good. Naturia Mold Cricket, level 1 insect monster, 0 by 0. During the main phase, quick effect. You contribute this card to special summon one Naturia monster from your deck, or special summon two Naturia monsters if your opponent controls a monster with the highest attack on the field, even if it's a tie. If your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck, or you special summon a Naturia monster from the extra deck while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card. You can only use each effect of Naturia Mole Cricket once per turn. Not bad. Being able to summon up to two if your opponent goes first, and getting this card back if you make a Naturia, pretty good. And there's another Varus. Aonok, Sentry of the Fish. Level 6, 2100 attack, 0 defense. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one of your banished level 4 or lower fish monsters and special summon in defense, but negates effects. You can banish one fish monster from your hand or face-up field to add a Goaty trap from your deck to your hand. I just said Goaty. Fish. You can only use each effect of Aonok, Sentry of the Fish, once per turn. It's alright. Level 6, with no clear way to special summon itself that I can see. So not super impressive. Naturia Camellia. Level 4, 1400 by 700, Plant Tuner. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can send a Naturia card from your deck to the graveyard. If you attribute a monster to activate a Naturia monster's effect, you can send the top two cards from your deck to the graveyard instead. If your opponent normal or special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you can special summon a Naturia monster from your graveyard. You can use each effect in Naturia Camellia once per turn. I'm going to say this is pretty good. It's a Foolish Burial on summon. It can let you mill instead of tributing for a Naturia effect, like Mole Cricket. And if your opponent summons, you can special summon from the grave. Does a lot. Sonic Warrior. Level 2, 1000 attacks or defense. If this card is sent to the graveyard, all level 2 monster or lower monster you control gain 500 attack. Rex, Freight for Hire. Level 2, 300 by 200, Dinosaur. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one spell trap for hire from your deck to your hand. During the main phase, if you control a monster for hire, quick effect. Banish this card from the graveyard. Then target one card for hire in your graveyard, and either add it to your hand or special summon it if it's a monster. You can only use each effect of Rex, Freight for Hire, once per turn. Look at that cute little dinosaur sitting in a box. He doesn't know he's a baby. There's another Camellia. Zeb, Ruby of the Fish. Level 2, 0 by 1000. Tuner. You can banish this card from your hand, target one fish monster in your graveyard, banish it. During your opponent's turn, if this card is banished, you can special summon it. If this card is special summoned, you can, except in the damage step, immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon one fish synchro monster using this card you control. You use each effect of Zep, Ruby of the Fish, once per turn. Neat. I want to understand the fish more and their watery ways. Ice Jade Manifestation. Normal spell. If you control a water monster and your opponent has a monster on their field or graveyard, take one Ice Jade monster from your deck and either add it to your hand, send it to the graveyard, or either send it to the graveyard or special summon it. No adding to hand. If a face-up Ice Jade monster control leaves the field by an opponent's card, except by being destroyed, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one card your opponent controls, and banish it. You can only use each effective Ice Jade Manifestation once per turn. Not the worst card, but it is Ice Jade, the least played archetype in the Albaz set, so I expect no one will run it, because no one runs Ice Jade. If you do, you're some kind of sicko. We're all worried for you. Another Circle of the Fairies. Speaking of more Ice Jades, Ice Jade Jameer Igrin, level 10 Synchro, 3000 by 1500, requiring a water tuner and a non-tuner. Quick effect. You can activate this effect. Face-up monsters you control cannot be destroyed or banished by your opponent's card effects this turn. Then, if you activate this effect in response to your opponent's card or activation, and your opponent has cards with that name on the field and or graveyard, you can banish those cards. If a card is banished by your opponent's card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. You use each effect of Ice Jade Jameer Igrin once per turn. It's a level 10 Synchro, and it would be competing for that with Baron, and I'm going to say it's worse than Baron. The Abyss Dragon Sword Soul. Level 8 Worm, 3000 by 2900. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned by a Worm monster's effect. If a monster is banished by card effect, except in the damage step, you can special summon this card from the graveyard, if it was there when that monster was banished, or hand, even if not. But banish it when it leaves the field. If this card is special summoned, you can target one card in the field zone and one monster your opponent controls or in the graveyard. Banish them. You can use each effect of the Abyss Dragon Sword Soul once per turn. I don't see that fitting into Sword Soul deck. They're already pretty packed between all the good Sword Soul cards and Tenny cards. Next. There's Beat. There's another Abyss. And our new card is Schiff, Fairy of the Fish. Level 2 Fish Tuner, 0 by 500. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target a fish monster you control, and it gains 500 attack until the end of this turn. That's not very impressive. During the standby phase of the next turn after this card was banished, you can special summon this banished card. So you can banish this card, then it'll come back, then it'll be in the graveyard after it's stored again, rebanish it, comes back. You see the pattern. During your opponent's main phase, if this card was special summoned this turn, you can quick effect, immediately if this effect resolves, synchro summon a fish synchro monster using this card you control. Alright, so as referenced before, synchro on your opponent's turn. And then it's back in the graveyard, banish it from the graveyard, summon it again. You see the loop. Slow loop, but it's there. Nothing new. This bodes well. More nothing. Oh, there's something. Snopios, Shade of the Fish. Level 6, 2100, 0 attack. 0 defense, 2100 attack. Fish effect. During the main phase, quick effect. Banish 2 fish monsters from your hand or graveyard and special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can target one face up card in the field, banish it when it leaves the field. If this card is banished, you can banish one fish monster from your graveyard, add this card to your hand. You can only use each effect of Snopios, Shade of the Fish, once per turn. That's a unique thing, giving a card the effect of when it leaves the field, banish it. Normally, those are consequence cards have themselves. Mimesis Elephant, continuous trap, special summon as an effect monster, so trap monster, level 2, 0 attack, 2000 defense, still a trap. If this card's in the monster zone, quick effect, declare one type and one attribute, then target one face up monster on the field, it becomes that type and attribute until the end of the turn. You can only use this effect of Mimesis Elephant once per turn. What in the god dang? Min-Arakua, level 4, 1500 by 500 fish. One of water monster's effect is activated, quick effect. You can special summon this card from your hand. You can banish one face up fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster you control, target one face up card on the field, negates effect until the end of your opponent's turn. That's not bad. You can only use each effect of Min-Arakua once per turn. Look at this doofy Super Mario looking fish. Nothing new from that pack. Nothing new. Another Snopios, another Mimesis, another Sif. Show me the big fish. Nothing, nothing. Another Minair. Satellite Synchron is not new, and another Assault Synchron. Not a whole lot new out of that one. Ugh. This set of 10 looks about just as good. Nothing there. Infernal Queen Salmon. Level 5 fish, 2400 by 1000. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon one fish normal monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard, like Terror King Salmon. If this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card in its own position is destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon any number of Vile Spawn Salmon tokens, which are all level 1 0 by 0s. You can only use each effect of Infernal Queen Salmon once per turn. Neat. Weird and neat. Nothing out of that. Nope. Ah. Faces. Light of the Fish. Look at that cute little blob. Level 2, 0 by 0, Fish Tuner. You can banish this card you control, special summon one fish monster from your hand, except Pacey's Light of the Fish. During the standby phase of the next turn after this card is banished, special summon this banished card. During your opponent's main phase, if this card was special summon this turn, you can quick effect Synchro Summon during your opponent's turn. Using this card you control. You can use each effect of Pacey's Light of the Fish once per turn. Actually, I'm realizing now, I think Fish plays around Dimensional Fissure because they're fine being banished. They come back from it. I smell potential. Oh, yes. That fishy smell of potential. I apologize for all the ASMR enthusiasts out there who had to hear that. I'm not sorry, but I am apologizing. Like most celebrities when they apologize. Got another Pisces. I'm going to keep calling it that because I think it's like Pisces, where the C is an S. Nothing. Nothing. Naturia. Gaia's Trio. Gaia's Trio. Level 10, 3200 by 2100, requiring 2 Earth Synchro monsters. During either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated that targets exactly one card in the field and no other cards, summon a card from your hand to the graveyard. Negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. Compare this to Naturia Beast and Barkion, and I guess Landois. This is worse. I'd rather run those. And on that tenor with no URs, I'm guaranteed to get one on the next set. This has been very lackluster otherwise. Show me the fishies. I want to pet them. Ascan, the bicorned fish. Level 8 Synchro Monster, 2700 by 0, requiring a tuner and a non-tuner. If this card is Synchro Summon, target one fish monster you control and one card your opponent controls, banish them. If this card is banished, you can banish one fish monster from your graveyard, special summon this card. You can only use each effect of Ascorn, the bicorn fish, once per turn. Not bad removal. Not really blown away by anything fish yet. There's another Gaia's Trio. There's another Beat, which I already had 3 of. Doesn't really matter. Nothing new. Nothing. Show me big fish. Another bicorned. Not quite what I wanted. Moray of Avarice. Banish one face-up fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster you control. Draw 2. You can only activate one Moray of Avarice per turn. I don't like looking at that creature. Neat card. Gross. Nothing out of that pack. What the heck? Variant, the Circular Sorcerer. Level 3 Insect Tuner, 800 by 1500. If an insect or plant monster is in either graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Fairy Ant the Circular Sorcerer once per turn this way. If this card you control would be used as synchro material for an insect or plant monster, you can treat it as a non-tuner. Weird. Weird little tech card. Nothing out of that pack. Couple in this one. Will they impress me? Another Final Cross. Stardust Warrior. Another Unmarked Duel. There it is. Fish of the Deep Beyond. A level 10 fish synchro monster with question mark attack and 0 defense, requiring 1 fish tuners and 1 or more non-tuner monsters. The original attack of this card becomes 500 times the number of banished monsters. If this card is synchro summoned during your opponent's turn, you can banish all cards on the field. During the standby phase of the next turn after this card was banished from the monster zone, you can special summon this banished card. So it's a big booty that banishes everything on the field. Interesting. Much to think about with the way these fish swim. And where's the filter on this? There we go. And now, let's look at all the newly added cards that I did not find. Apparently there were a bunch. Donner, Dagger for Hire. Hey. Click. Level 2, Link Monster, Beast Warrior, requiring 2 monsters with different types. You can target 1 monster for hire you control and 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy them. You can tribute 1 monster, special summon 1 monster for hire from your hand or graveyard with a different original name than the tributed monster. Then, if you tributed a Link monster to activate this effect, you can special summon 1 more such monster. You can only use 1 Donner Dagger for Hire effect per turn, and only once that turn. Don't know if that constitutes being a UR. World Sea Dragon Zealantis. Link 4, 2500, requiring 1 effect monsters, 1 or more, which means you can use a Link 4 as solo material for this. You can only control 1 World Sea Dragon Zealantis. You can only use each of the following effects of World Sea Dragon Zealantis once per turn. During your main phase, banish all monsters on the field, then special summon as many monsters as possible that were banished by this effect to their owner's fields, face up or in face down defense position. During the battle phase, quick effect, you can destroy cards on the field up to the number of co-linked monsters on the field. It's fine. I don't think this is new, but I'm going to read it anyway. Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon, Stardust Stats, Dragon Synchro, requiring a tuner and non-tuner. If this card is synchro summoned, you can special summon 1 level 2 or lower tuner from your graveyard. During the main phase, quick effect, tribute this card, special summon 1 Stardust Dragon from your extra deck. This is treated as a synchro summon. Then, after this effect resolves, synchro summon using monsters you control as material. For the rest of this turn, the monsters synchro summoned by this effect are unaffected by opponent's effects. Really turned into a auctioneer there. I regret nothing. Plunder Patrol Ship, Yord. Level 8 Earth Synchro Pendulum Monster, scale of 1, 1500 by 3000. Pendulum effect. Declare 1 attribute. Return this card to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon a Plunder Patrol token with that attribute to both players' fields in defense mode. You can only use this effect once per turn. Monster effect. If your opponent special summons a monster, you can add 1 Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand. Then, if this card is equipped with a Plunder Patrol card, you can special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from your deck. You can target a Plunder Patrol card in your graveyard, add to your hand, and if you do, place this card in your Pendulum Zone. You can only use each effect of Plunder Patrol Ship Yord once per turn. Pretty good. Does a lot. I'm realizing now from the art, it's actually a tank. Diabolantis, the Menacing Mantis. Who writes these names? Level 8 Synchro, 2500 by 2200, requiring a tuner and non-tuner. If this card is Synchro summoned, you can send insect or plant monsters from your deck to the graveyard up to the number of non-tuners used for its Synchro summon. If you control this Synchro summon card, you can target 1 insect or plant monster you control, treat it as a tuner until the end of the turn. You can only each effect once per turn. There's Mole Cricket, Assault, Moray. I almost read that as the moist, distant, deepest depths. The most distant, deepest depths. Deepest depth. The most distant, deepest depths. Why do they do this to me? Deep depth. It's a field spell. While you control a fish synchro monster, this card cannot be destroyed or banished by card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Deep Depths once per turn. Banish a fish monster from your hand or graveyard. Add a Goaty fish monster from your deck to your hand. If a fish monster is normal or special summoned to your field while this card is in your graveyard, except in the damage step. Target a fish monster you control, banish it, and if you do, add this card to your hand. Not bad. It's got protections. It lets you search out fish by using fish, and can come back. Neat. Spellbound. Quick play spell. All face-up monsters your opponent currently controls cannot be attributed or used as material for fission, fusion, synchro, Xyz, or link summon until the end of the turn. There's Stardust Warrior, which is not new, in fact. Actually, I'm realizing Assault Synchro was new. Ascon, Tilting Entrainment. Level 8 Synchro, 2800 by 1600 Machine Synchro. If this card is Synchro summoned, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Pendulum monster from your hand or face up from your extra deck. At the end of the damage step, when this card or your Pendulum monster battles an opponent's monster, but the opponent's monster is not destroyed by a battle, you can destroy that opponent's monster. You can only use the effect of Tilting Entrainment once per turn. It's fine. Guoglim, Spear of the Fish. That thing looks like a monster. Level 8, Synchro, 2700 by 0, 1 fish tuner and 1 or more non-tuner monsters. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can banish that opponent's monster. Not bad. During the opponent's standby phase, you can banish this card. Then, if the monster uses material for this card's Synchro Summon are all in your graveyard, you can special summon all of them, but banish them when they leave the field. You can only use each effect of Guoglim, Spear of the Fish, once per turn. Weird and neat. Stardust Worm. That is a... Oh, look at the baby. Level 1, 0 by 0 Dragon. If this card's in your hand or graveyard, and you control a level 8 or higher Dragon Synchro monster, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can tribute this card, special summon up to 2 level 1 light dragon monsters from your hand and or graveyard except Stardust Worm, but their effects cannot be activated. You can only use each effect of Stardust Worm once per turn. We have Fish Chain, Normal Trap. Banish one face-up fish monster you control, special summon one of your fish monsters, that's Goaty Fish, that is banished or in your hand, deck, or graveyard with a different original name from the monster banished by this effect, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can activate 1 Fish Chain per turn. Weird and weirder. And that is all the cards I did not open. Weird stuff coming in this pack. I'm interested to mess around with the Goaty Fish archetype. I don't care about Plunder Patrol and never have, so I'm going to ignore that. For Hire is for hire, but it is a link 2, and Rex is a level 2, so you're going to see those in Sprite decks more than for hire. Naturia Mole Cricket might show up. Ice Jade still won't show up. And Stardust just got a bit more stuff with On Your Market Set Duel and Stardust Worm. And that's going to be that. I hope all of you have good luck on your openings, should you be opening. Or if you're taking a full pass on this, I don't blame you. This pack is weird, and I can understand people just ignoring it. Regardless, that's going to be the end of this video. If you caught the stream, thanks for watching. Catching the replay, thanks for that too. Goodbye.